Este episodio es traído a ustedes gracias a Doppler. En Disruptivo TV utilizamos Doppler para todo nuestro email marketing y nos permite llegar a nuestra comunidad de forma directa, rápida y personalizada. Además, nos permite segmentar audiencias, viralizar campañas en redes sociales y medir nuestros resultados. Tú también puedes hacer email marketing y crear tu propia cuenta totalmente gratis y sin límite de envíos en Doppler. Además de todo, por ser parte de la comunidad de Disruptivo, tendrás acceso a descuentos y beneficios especiales. Solo tienes que entrar a bit.ly/Doppler Disruptivo. Hola a todos, ¿cómo están? Yo soy Juan del Cerro y estoy bien contento porque el día de hoy les traigo un episodio especial maravilloso. La neta nunca creí, o más que no creérmelo, una de mis principales aspiraciones desde este rol que juego yo de comunicador, entre comillas, en este programa ha sido siempre entrevistar a Yunus, el padre del emprendimiento social. La neta es que era de esas cosas que decías siempre me encantaría hacer, pero la neta es que nunca creí que se fuera a ser posible, o al menos creí que iba a ser bastante complicado, y por azar el destino, el universo se alineó, todas las cosas que podían pasar bien pasaron bien, y tuve la oportunidad de que en su última visita a México me senté con el profesor Yunus, que ya lo mencioné, es padre del emprendimiento social. Él empezó con el banco Grameen en los años 70 y en los últimos ya 50 años se ha dedicado literalmente a desarrollar, él fue el primero que acuñó el término de la empresa social y se ha dedicado a acuñar este modelo de negocio, no solamente en las finanzas, sino en todas las industrias. Hoy en día, recibió el premio Nobel de la Paz hace algunos años y hoy en día es un líder mundial literalmente a nivel de cualquier otro líder que existe por allá afuera, y justamente es la fuerza más importante en promoción del emprendimiento social. Como ustedes se podrán imaginar, dado que yo soy un gran apasionado del tema, pues él ha sido uno de mis role models durante años. Yo creo que es la única persona de la cual me he leído 4 libros del mismo autor. Literal, tengo mucho que agradecerle por todo lo que ha hecho. He aprendido muchísimo de él y haber estado sentado con él durante 45, 50 minutos, la verdad fue un placer gigantesco. Además, les cuento una anécdota interesante, es que yo estaba de vacaciones cuando me dijeron que venía Yunus a México. Más bien, yo sabía que venía Yunus a México, pero ya tenía mis vacaciones planeadas. No iba a tener la oportunidad de entrevistarlo, ni mucho menos. Entonces, decidí irme de vacaciones y estando allá, me hablan y me dicen, oye Juan, fíjate que vas a tener fíjate que viene Yunus y un día antes de sus conferencias, hay un espacio en el que nos gustaría invitarte a que lo entrevistes. Y entonces tuve que comprar un vuelo de regreso, interrumpí mis vacaciones, mi esposa se siguió una semana de vacaciones sola, que por cierto creo que fue la semana que más disfrutó. En fin, corté todo para llegar a estar acá y poder tener la oportunidad de la entrevista. Yo solamente iba a tener 10 minutos de entrevista con él porque iba a estar la gente de Forbes, iban a estar otro par de medios más. Pero como yo llegué temprano, como me fui por mi lado y yo no quería perder ni un minuto de esos 10 minutos de entrevista, tuve la oportunidad de estar ahí listo en el momento en el que ella dijo, ok, llévenme a las entrevistas. La camioneta con todos los demás medios y con todos los demás personas que íbamos a participar ese día se atrasó por azar del destino. Y en lugar de 10 minutos, pude tener una conversación con él de casi de una hora. Así que fue padrísimo, la verdad yo aprendí mucho y espero que ustedes también ahora que la escuchen puedan aprender un montón. La entrevista fue en inglés porque el profesor Yunus no habla español y espero que pronto podamos compartirles una versión traducida, una versión doblada, pero por ahora quiero compartirles el audio original en inglés con el profesor Yunus y toda su visión del emprendimiento social y de cómo podemos crear un mundo más justo con cero pobreza, cero desempleo y cero emisiones de carbono. No se despeguen y no se pierdan esta de verdad increíble entrevista en Disruptivo. Muchas gracias. Welcome everybody, all the community in Disruptivo. I am very, very excited today because we are with nobody else than Professor Yunus. Professor, thank you very much.
Thank you.
You are here in Mexico for only 2 or 3 days. You have a very busy schedule, so I'm really thankful that we have this time with you.
I'm delighted to be with you.
Professor, I cannot tell you, and I want to say it in front of everybody, you've been one of the main inspirations in my road to promote social entrepreneurship here in Mexico and in Latin America. All your books, your work, your vision is inspiring. And I want to start the interview talking about a little bit about your vision. During the years that you've been working with social entrepreneurship, you started with a very specific project that was Grameen Bank, and now you have this very broad vision of a world of 3 zeros. That's the title of your book. Tell us a little bit more about that. What is that vision of the world of 3 zeros?
The basic issue that I have been raising, that there is nothing wrong with poor people. Mm-hmm. Poor people are as good human beings as anybody else. as capable as anybody else. Simply, the system that we have designed doesn't allow them to express their talents, express their capacity, and take care of themselves. So it's not the poor people who create poverty. Poverty is created by the system. So if you want to change the life of the poor people, to get them out of the poverty, we have to focus on the system.
Okay.
Change the system so that they are not become a barrier for people to come out. Today they are producing poverty and protecting them from getting out. So this is what I was explaining. If we let the system be someone to supportive of human talents and creative power, then we can create a completely new kind of world. And I can define that world as a world of zero poverty. Nobody will be a poor person because it's not in the person. Zero unemployment. There's no reason why anybody should be unemployed. It's a very strange concept, unemployment. And zero net carbon emission so that we protect the planet. So all this possible provided we change the system. And one basic question on the system part I raise, very strange that economics interprets human being as someone driven by self-interest or selfishness. And the whole economics is designed for that purpose, to allow human being to achieve their selfish purposes. I said that's a very wrong starting point. To assume human being is a selfish being is a misstatement, is a flawed statement. Human beings are selfish, but at the same time selfless too. That selfless part is completely forgotten into the economic theory. So we created economic theory based on selfishness. So the world has become selfish. Everybody sees themselves for their own purpose, gaining more, accumulating wealth, and so on and so forth. So they don't see the prospect, ability to change the world, which belongs to other people. So if we reinterpret that human being closer to the real human being as selfish and selfless, then we need to create another kind of business. Today, there's only one kind of business, a selfish business.
Yes.
Maximize profit. So I said, today the theory has given us glasses with dollar sign. We see the world for dollar sign. We don't see anything else. I'm saying this is the wrong glass we got. To be closer to the reality, we should have bifocal glasses with dollar sign and also the people sign. We'll see both. You can do both. There's no problem with that. So once we agree, then we need to have different kind of business to allow selfless part to play. Today's selfish part plays because there's a selfish business, maximize profit. What happens if you create a business on the basis of selflessness? That business will be dedicated to solving people's problems, global problems, rather than making money for myself. And that's what we started calling social business and defining it as a non-dividend company to solve human problems. In that business, we are not interested in making money. We are interested in solving problems. Business is a very strong tool, very efficient tool in addressing issues in a sustainable way. Why don't we use it for solving people's problems? So each person can do both, can create business to make money.
They don't fight, because people normally think that you either make business or make change. No,
I'm saying
they are opposite.
Yeah, I'm saying human beings are made of both. Selfishness and selflessness. We are not denying anything. So you express both ways. Today we are expressing only one way. That's what they create the problem. Problem of all the poverty and unemployment and environmental issues and so on. So the whole design becomes different. And then each student, each young person in the family will be told, as you grow up, you can work for a social business or you can start a social business. And at the same time, you can work for a profit-making business or own a profit-making business. Both things you can do simultaneously. How much of each you will do will depend on what you want to do with yourself in your life. Whether it's 50-50, whether it's a 90-10, or it's a 99-1. Which one we want? That's your choice. Today, there is no choice.
I really like this because I think it changes a paradigm, and that's what we've in Disruptivo been talking about for the last 5-6 years. Then we used to think that if you wanted to make social change, you have to be sort of like a martyr, right? You have to go all out and help other people and don't be able to create value for yourself. But the thing is, then you can create both. You can create these businesses that is good for you, because a lot of people, most people need to grow themselves to provide for their families, but you can do that while you are creating a world that is more fair for everybody else.
I'm emphasizing that it's a choice.
Yeah.
It's not something that you are stuck.
Okay.
It's like we are stuck because only business we can do is to make money. There's no other kind of business. So when we bring the social business into the picture, people get surprised. What is this business? If you're not making money, how can it be business?
Exactly.
People cannot even think that you can have a business not to make money, but to solve people's problem, because that idea was never given to him in school, in
it's been taught and taught, and now we have
today when you bring it, they naturally grow up what they want to do, why would you want to do that, etc., etc., etc. So this is the most important difference that I was seeing in an economic theoretical framework. If you change it, world will change.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And then another issue in the economic theory that I've been emphasizing, in order to make this selfish world happen, they assume that everybody, when they grow up, they have to work for somebody else, find a job, as if job is the destiny of human being. I said, that's a very wrong idea. Human beings are not born to work for somebody else. Human beings are born to express their creative power, express their creativity. Each individual human being is packed with unlimited creative power. But to theory to say that you have to go and work for somebody is a very damaging thing, because the moment you accept a job, you surrender your creativity.
Okay.
Job and creativity don't go together.
You are stuck in an everyday thing.
Absolutely, you are driven by instructions. Somebody instructs you, you follow that. Even if you hate that instruction, still you follow that. That's a part of the job. So you completely pack up your creative power. You don't use it anymore.
You give it you put it in storage while you're working for somebody else.
So I said, why should we sacrifice ourselves as a human being? That unlimited capacity that we have. So a person with unlimited capacity, with great potential, suddenly becomes a small human being to fit into a slot in a company, in an office and something. I said, that's very damaging. So I said, all human beings are entrepreneurs. So this is again the reverse of the conventional economic thinking. Conventional economics is always busy to create jobs and so on. So I said, no, human beings are
actually that's one of the measures of progress, no? Job creation.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we should be focusing on entrepreneurial creation.
Absolutely. So that's where the creative power comes in. And suddenly we see the world in a completely different way. So then we have to tell the young people, as you grow up, you start thinking, I'm not a job seeker, I'm a job creator. And I behave like a job creator, as an entrepreneur. I become an entrepreneur. So that's another direction. The moment we become entrepreneur, the system doesn't work for us, because the system is built for jobs, not for me. So we have to redesign the system, particularly financial system. Financial system has to redesign so that if I want to become entrepreneur, system will come and support me so that I can express myself as an entrepreneur. So there's another point that I want to tell.
And that's what you've been working on lately, no? In providing financial support for people that want to become entrepreneurs.
Absolutely. We always did, like a micro-credit.
Yeah.
The poor women.
Exactly.
Take a small loan, $20, $30, $50 loan, become entrepreneur. Millions and millions of women all around the world become entrepreneurs. They're not job seekers.
Amazing.
Yeah. So my question is, if illiterate women in a village can become an entrepreneur with $30 loan, how come with university degrees and all the knowledge you have to go and work for somebody?
This is one of the, and I want to make a stop here because this is one of probably my favorite points of what you're talking about now in your book, because we work, that's what we do in Disruptivo. We try to inspire, motivate, and support people that want to become entrepreneurs, either social entrepreneurs or micro-entrepreneurs, it doesn't matter. And a lot of people, and we've had studies about this, and large media have published data about this, and like I think it's like 70% of the people don't start a business because they are afraid to fail, because they think they don't have enough knowledge, they are not experts in the subject, they don't have enough funding. And then you come and I heard you, one of your talks, I think it was either in Google or in the Smart City Expo, one of these, you said, I wasn't a banker when I started, I had no money, the women that we have started with have no money. Tell us a little bit more about that, because I want people to lose the fear of starting their own businesses. How can you, with all your experience, inspire us to jump that barrier?
Yeah, about the Grameen Bank and micro-credit that we started some 42 years back. At that time, I had no idea what banking is, how it could be done. I was not thinking in terms of banking either. All I was trying to do is to protect the victims of the loan sharks, so that they cannot exploit these poor people by giving loan and grabbing everything they got. So I was thinking how to protect them so that the loan shark cannot come and grab everything from them. The idea came to my mind The solution is very simple. Why don't I give the money myself before the loan shark comes and gives the money? So that she doesn't know, he doesn't have to go to the loan shark. Then the problem is solved.
It's simple. It's not a big business plan. It's not a 50-page document. No?
So what I did is took money from my pocket. So if you need money, I'll give you the money.
There you go.
Don't go to the loan shark. That's done. And it became very popular. Everybody wanted to borrow from me rather than go to the loan shark. I was very happy that it's being served, it's being helping people to overcome their problems. So this was just a one-on-one relationship. I give the money and say, whenever you can, you pay me back, and people are very happy to do that. Then as it grew bigger and bigger, then I have to put it in some kind of a system, but I don't know how it is done. So I started looking at how banks lend money to people, because I have to learn how to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah, so once I see that issue in the bank, how they do it, all I have to do is to do the opposite.
Okay.
So every time I learn something, I do the opposite. They go to the rich people, I go to the poor people.
Okay.
They go to the city, I go to the village. They ask for collateral, I said no collateral. So everything I learned on the job, doing that, practicing it, trying it out. Not everything I did was immediately successful.
You failed a couple of times.
There are failures, and then you mend it, change it, and that's how it's a learning process. So it's a learning process. It became a global phenomenon, became known as micro-credit. It's all over the world,
changing the world of millions of people.
Absolutely.
How do you manage?
You said people are afraid to be failure and
exactly.
so on. And again, I give the examples of these illiterate women in the village. They're afraid too, but they take the risk. It's a question of taking the risk. Business always has the risk of failure. Business doesn't come in a guaranteed package. It doesn't.
Yeah.
So you're taking a risk. And when you're successful, you get excited and you want to do more. When you fail, you get very small. Then we said, don't worry about it. Business has always failures. This is not the only time. In future, you also fail. But keep on trying. So we give fresh loans. Start all over again. Start all over again. Now this time she becomes successful. So this is how it works. So if you're afraid that it will be a failure, then you'll never get it started.
Yeah.
So it has to be something. Business means you have to go through the learning process. You have to go through the process of failures and success. It's the same
part of the road.
Part of the world. Yeah.
What motivates you when you were starting and when you faced some of the biggest failures you've ever had? When you fell down and you felt ashamed. What was the force that inspired you to try again and again and again until now it's a global phenomenon? But in those early days when you were starting in Dhaka, what was the forces that pushed you to take one more step?
One faith that I had always that nothing is impossible. We may mistake, sometimes you fail, but doing things and achieving things is not impossible. It's a question of keep trying. Once you keep trying in a different way, it's a learning process. You did it didn't work, you do something else, do it differently, and this time it works. That's how it works. So nothing comes in a kind of a guaranteed shape that this is, nothing comes like that.
There are no formulas.
No formula. You have to discover your own path, your destiny, and same thing. And another learning process that I had, I keep saying that as the economic system works, I said, if you go to the same road, you always end up in the same destination.
I love that phrase.
If you want to go to a new destination, you have to build new roads. There's no escape from that. So if you keep on doing the same old thing again and again, you end up with the same thing again and again. If you think about a new destination, forget about the old roads. Build your own new roads.
I don't know if you agree with me, but do you remember the movie The Wizard of Oz?
Yes.
When they tell the people, you have to go on the yellow brick road. And I think that's what happens to a lot of us. Since we were born, we are always taught about this yellow brick road, that go to school, get a job, get a house. But sometimes, or actually now that we want to create a world with no poverty, no carbon emissions, and no unemployment, we have to get out of the yellow brick road and build our own road, the color we want it to be.
Absolutely, that's it.
I love that. Changing a little bit the subject, you started this 50 years ago, I think. And when you started Grameen, the concept of social business didn't even exist. How do you see the evolution of social business? I think that a revolution is going on. Most countries have either big or small initiatives about social entrepreneurship. It's still not a mainstream thing. We have a lot of work to do, and we're here to help you do that. How are you? Are you satisfied? Do you think a lot is going on or not enough? What's your feeling on the evolution that social business has had in the last years in all over the world?
I would say both. Sometimes you feel frustrated that it's not going fast enough. At the same time, you feel amazed at how much it's achieved, how much it's happened. 45 years back, we had no idea that this idea will be anywhere. With just one small village. Now today is a global, everybody knows, everybody works, everybody's using the same technique. But at the same time, it has not become universal. Meaning that every poor person have access to financial services. It doesn't happen.
Okay.
It's still very selective people. I said, why can't we make it universal? Every human being is entitled to financial services. I keep saying the financial services is like financial oxygen. If you don't have oxygen, you cannot breathe. So if you don't give the financial oxygen to people, they cannot economically breathe. And we call them poor people.
Yeah.
The moment you connect them with the financial oxygen, they become alive, become active and creative. And they overcome their poverty, come out of poverty, and so on and so forth. This is so fundamental, but still the banking system has not accepted that.
Changed, yeah.
Has not changed at all. So we talk about changing the entire banking system. This banking system is still stuck with making money for themselves. And it's become a tool, it became a vehicle to make people super rich. The richer you are, most likely the bank will come and support you to become still richer.
Yeah.
But if you're poor, they will not come anywhere near you. I said, that's the wrong system. The system should be other way. If you're poor, banking system will come and help you to overcome. And then we go from there.
And it's not only banking, no? That happens, I think, in politics, that happens, I think, in large corporations. If you have money, then everything works around you for you. And the other way, it's the opposite, no?
Yeah, this is all the idea of the whole problem of wealth concentration. All the wealth of the world is concentrated in fewer and fewer hands. 1% of the population of the entire world owns more than 99% of the wealth of the entire world. So remaining 99% of the population own only 1% of the wealth. So what kind of system is that? It happens because financial systems support the people who are rich to become super rich. So the system is helping to become the concentration of the wealth faster and faster. As a result, we have created a social explosive situation, a ticking time bomb. Because bottom is becoming empty and this few people in the top become super, super rich. And that cannot go on forever. So this will create a lot of political tension, social tension, and destroy the system that we know. Before it happened, why don't we redesign it? Redesign the economic system so that all the wealth doesn't go in one direction.
Yeah.
Wealth goes back and forth directions.
One of the things that, talking about this, one of the things that I like more about your work is that, unlike many other people, you don't say that we have to destroy what already exists, or we have to throw everything away and start from scratch. But it's actually learning from what already works and redesign it, repurpose it to fit those who have.
The way I try to explain it, I'm saying it's not the fault of the people, even fault of the rich people.
Yeah.
These are the greedy people.
They're not evil with their mustaches.
System works that way.
Yeah.
System simply pushes them to go higher and higher and higher. They said, what can we do? Since the system works for us, we make use of the system. In the process, what is happening? If you own all the wealth of the world, you own everything. You're not only the owner of the wealth, you are the owner of the media. So media is controlled by them.
Yeah.
Politics is controlled by them. Everyday business is controlled by them. So they, no matter what kind of government you have, is the people who have all the wealth in their control, they dictate the government, they dictate the policy, they dictate the banking, dictate politics and everything else. So if you're talking about democracy, in a situation like that, you cannot have a democracy. So you're only democracy for namesake, nothing else. We go and vote, but that vote is controlled by somebody else.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to take this because that's obviously exactly what it's like for Mexico, for Colombia, for a lot of these countries in Latin America. We have a lot of concentration of power, of wealth in very few people and families, and you have millions and millions that don't have access. What do you think in your work, and you've traveled all over the world, what do you think are the main, I don't want to say challenges because I think we've talked about that, but the main opportunities that countries like us, most people that are watching us right now are not part of those families that own the wealth. but actually people that do want to do something. What do you think countries like us, which we may resemble in some ways Bangladesh, for example, what do you think are the main opportunities that we have that we could take advantage of to start creating this new system, new economy from within? No, because obviously if you have all the money and the power and you're watching us, please get involved. But if not, what can we do? What can we take advantage of our countries right now with all the turmoil and all the problems? But there's also a lot of resources. What do you think are those resources and opportunities that are happening we can take advantage of?
One way I try to explain to young people, I tell them that, look, you are the most powerful generation in human history because you have all the technology in the world which no other generation ever had. So your generation has enormous power with the technology in your hand. And first realize that yes, you have enormous power in your hand. Then ask yourself the question, what use you are going to make this power for? Because if you do not decide what use you are going to make use of it, it will be wasted. You had the Aladdin's lamp, you could have touched it and the genie would have come out of it. And you could have told the genie to do everything impossible and it will be possible. But you had the lamp, but you never touched it. Genie never came out. That should not be the case. You become aware that you are the power, you have enormous power, you are the genie, and make sure you know what the genie should be doing. Change the whole world. You have that power. So this cuts across all the young people, not the young people for poor families or middle income or the rich. Everybody. So I'm not excluding the rich families. Yeah, they have the same young people. They want to see changes from themselves too. They become victims of their structure that this economy has built for them. They have to get out and say, no, this is not the way the world should be. I want to be somebody who can make a difference for the whole world. I want to be useful to the society, useful to the world, not just triple my wealth with my grandfather left behind. And that's not something that you would like to feel proud of. You feel proud because you touched this world and made a magic. And things have changed completely because you have the ability to change the whole world, not only your life. So that's the kind of thing. So today I'm very happy. Young people are paying attention to it. Across the board, rich people, fine. Poor people, doesn't matter. And to see what direction to go, how to build that new road, how to build the new road to go to the new destination, zero poverty, zero unemployment, zero net carbon emission, how to make that happen. And at the same time, remembering nothing is impossible. It's our job to make it possible.
I love that because sometimes it feels like, no way I can change poverty. No way I can eradicate.
That's not true.
But I love that. It's possible. You just have to try it and eventually find a way. You're a great example.
Every single person can do that.
That's incredible. Professor, I want to ask you maybe a couple of different questions, obviously around this topic. We do also have a lot of people in the audience that they simply don't want to be entrepreneurs. They are either they are lawyers or doctors or working in large corporations. What do people that are not going to start a social business can do to help us create this new economy, this new system? How can they, from different sectors, even government, people that because we work with great people in Mexico in different government offices that are really, really working for a better country. What can they do if they're not going to start a social business? Which is okay, not everybody will become a social entrepreneur, but people around it can also support it, right?
Let me put it this way. I may not run a social business, but I can support a social business. I invest in a social business while I'm still working for somebody else in the government or the company or something. But that doesn't mean that I am nothing to do with social business. Of course, I have something to do with social business. I like it, and this is my idea, and I contribute to that idea, contribute to them, and I financially support them, connect them with each other so that social business can take place. And I can design a social business. I don't have to run a social business. I can design. I want to solve the problem of unemployment. How do I design a social business to solve the problem of 10 unemployed young people so that they no longer remain unemployed? That's what the social business does, is solve problem. How do you design that business? I design it, I put it in my Facebook, and people say, hey, this is great. Can I take this idea and start the business? Yeah, go ahead. So you can contribute the idea. So you don't have to say, I'm immune, I don't have to. If you don't want to do it, there's something else. If you want to do it, there are 1,001 ways how you can do that. You pass around information from each other. This is a great work. You support them, giving the policy support from the government or your company. Your company can create a social business on the side as a parallel business. You can be instrumental in doing that. So many, many roles you can play, how to make this changes take. Ultimate goal is to build this new road, which will take us there. So I have to be part of that road building. I cannot just stay with the old roads and look at the new roads being built and I didn't do anything. That should not be it.
We don't need spectators. We need people that get their hands dirty, no matter how
get into action.
That's incredible. And in that same matter, how about large corporations? Have you mentioned in the book companies like Danone, like McCain that are doing work supporting entrepreneurs? In Mexico, we have other companies like Citibanamex, we have Walmart, we have MedLife, companies that are already supporting social entrepreneurs. What do you think the key role of them are? Is it only financing? Is it empowering somehow, hiring social companies? What do you think they should do?
Everything. I mean, for every company, corporates or non-corporate entities, profit-making companies, I said every company should create at least one social business of its own.
Okay.
One. As a part of their company. I have a company A, I have a big business, I make money, but I created a company B, which is a social business, owned by company A, which is a profit-making business. But from company B, we don't take any profit. That's dedicated to social business. It works there. And if I feel that, yes, it's working well, I can expand it. I can take it wherever I work. Suppose I'm a German company or a French company working in Mexico. So I make money out of Mexico. So as I do make money from the Mexico, I create a social business in Mexico so that my profit can be invested in a social business to solve the problem of water in Mexico, or education in Mexico, or healthcare in Mexico, or employment in Mexico, whatever. So I create a social business. So every company can create at least one social business. As they grow, they can make more and more social businesses. Businesses have a lot of creative power. They can use this creative power to solve problems too. It's not just only making money from Mexico. I'm part of Mexico also because my fortune comes from Mexico. So I participate in that. I can be a Mexican company. I have a responsibility to change my society. So I create a social business. I can be outsider, but I have a responsibility because I work here. I create a social business. I feel good that I'm not just making money and walking away. I'm becoming a part of changes in the society.
Yeah, building positive change. And do you think this is like this should be? Well, it sounds like it's an evolution of corporate social responsibility, no? Because this is going to be this social business that the companies can create. Will eventually be sustainable, so it won't need donations every year. It won't need volunteers. It can run as a different company. So it's a nice evolution of what a lot of companies are already doing, which is social responsibility, which is great and it's very important. But a lot of times
one difference of the CSR, or corporate social responsibility. In CSR, you take a small part of your profit and give it to NGOs and others to do good things to people, which is good. Do it as a charity. I'm saying, yes, you continue to do that, but you can do better. You can use your own money, CSR money, invest under your name, create a company, so that you say, this is company A. We created this business to solve the water problem. I have not written a check and say I'm done. My company becomes involved and run this, and I'm responsible for this company. If it doesn't do well, blame me.
Yeah.
So I take the responsibility and I take the pride because I have done something. And that pride will take me to do more and more. So this is directly getting involved. So several steps beyond just writing a check and give it to an NGO.
Yeah, I love that. And it's business already have the expertise, everything.
Absolutely, you have the expertise.
Okay, so professors, thanks so much. This conversation has been amazing. I want to close with giving people somebody to take the next step. Well, actually, two questions. The first one would be, what companies, other than the one that you're creating, because you're creating a lot of companies, a lot of social businesses, what companies inspire you right now? What social businesses that you've met in the last years you think are really inspiring examples? Because our audience always loves to learn new role models, new examples of social businesses? What do you maybe met somebody here in Mexico already, or in another country? Mexico, you just arrived, but in another country, you say, oh, this company is doing an amazing work. You guys should check it out. Do you have any example?
Each day there are always a new company, new ideas coming up, and it's very exciting to see things happening. One thing very exciting happening in Paris.
Okay.
I was saying that sports can be part of the social business, sports world.
Sports.
Today's sports world is about making money.
Mm-hmm. It's a huge industry.
Huge industry.
Yeah.
You make lots of money, your advertisements and so on. And, so it's all commercial purpose. I said sports is such a powerful part of human life. This can be also a social power. Why don't you use this power for social business? So I gave examples how it can be done. France took it very seriously. So they became a candidate for Olympic 2024, and they were selected as a site for Olympic 2024. We worked together to design Olympic 2024 as a social business Olympic.
Oh, wow.
Everything will be done in the Olympic with the social considerations, so the housing, and catering, and everything, so that it has a lasting impact in the area where it has been held. So the lives of the people in that area will change permanently by holding this Olympic. So now you have a whole new campaign going on within the sports world to create a sports world, whether you're a club, sports club, you're a football club, you're a cricket club, you're some other club, you can devote yourself in solving the problems in your neighborhood, your members, and so on and so forth. Do that. So International Olympic Committee became involved in it to create social business across the board through their own network of social business, their Olympic Games and so on and so forth. So this is one. It's
an amazing example because actually the Olympics and the World Cup have kind of a bad reputation because they leave behind a lot of economic debt, and so this is a completely new vision.
Reversal of that,
And I think it's an example that sits very well with this because it's not only changing one thing, it's changing the system.
Absolutely,
if we manage to change the Olympics, then anything is possible, right?
The other one which is exciting, we'll be discussing in Mexico also, about plastic. Mm-hmm. Plastic is going to kill us.
Yeah.
So now many initiatives in social business coming up, even the plastic companies themselves joining in to create social businesses to stop plastic ending up in the ocean, destroy our environment and so on. So this is another area. So we see this initiative coming up in many countries. We have created Yunus Plastic Hub to encourage this type of activities and so on. And the third one, which is encouraging, is for the young people in the universities. Many universities setting up Yunus social business centers so that they can give courses on social business and so on. Right now, there are 74 universities, including several in Mexico, which has Yunus social business centers. So they undertake social businesses, they bring the business community together to design social business and so on, so that it goes across the board in different directions to the young people and bring it in the academic world.
That's amazing. We work with over 150 universities, and I think that's a great initiative what you're doing. So thanks. I'm very, very happy to have had this time with you. We have to run because you have a big agenda. I just want to thank you so much, Professor.
Thank you.
I want to send a last message to all of our audience. Do you want to recommend them to get your book, to follow you, to learn more about Grameen? What do you think would be the next, if they want to take action right now? What can you tell
One
them?
is the book, A World of Three Zeros. They can have a copy of the book because a lot of things that is discussed is already there. And it's available in Spanish language and
yes, of course,
many other languages, in French, Portuguese, German, and Japanese, and so on. So they can have a copy of the book and go through it and participate in thinking process and ideas. And maybe your one simple idea, very small idea, has grown so big, changed the whole world. You never know what kind of thing that will come from you. So you have that potential to come up with the idea to make the change, the whole world.
Excellent. Professor, thank you very much. It's been an amazing pleasure to have you here with us. And I hope this is the first of many conversations, of many collaborations, so we can bring social business to everyone, not only Mexico and Latin America and all over the world.
Looking forward.
Professor.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.